Hey everyone, welcome to this weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast for the week of January 3rd through the 9th of 2022. Alright, so a quiet week astrologically, not a whole lot going on, no major aspects, and we are coming into the week at the very low energy of the lunar cycle. We did just have the new moon last Sunday coming into this week, so a fresh new start. And definitely not as deep or intense as a lot of the energy that we've had back in December during the eclipse season there. But nonetheless, great to set new intentions coming into this week for the lunar month. Being in Sagittarius, anything about expanding our horizons mentally or literally or spiritually is always good. A bit of that adventurousness mentally and literally. Mars is going closer to a fucus on Tuesday though, so our drives and motivations are still in the deeper realms of Scorpio and a fucus, and so it is still good to get to the core of things, bring deep stuff to the surface, and maybe start to do some healing things Tuesday onwards with Mars getting closer. On Wednesday, Venus will be sextiling Neptune. Venus is retrograde, so it is good to still be rethinking our values. What is it we enjoy? What really matters in life? Maybe re-examining or just taking a break from some of the relationship stuff with the retrograde, but experimenting is also good, learning a lot about relationships. And the sextile of Neptune could just give us a bit of a receptive connection. So an opening for a bit of compassion, receptivity, at least available there. And then on Saturday, that Venus retrograde will pass over the Sun, marking the halfway point of her retrograde period. And in this case, maybe some insights, maybe during this reworking, rethinking process with our values and relationships, maybe some awareness coming in. But good to be extra conscious of that since we won't see Venus in the sky, it'll just be the Sun. So any mindfulness to how we're relating, mindfulness to healthy ways of enjoying things in life, and our values, it could be very constructive around that weekend time period. All right, so let's go and take a look at all of this here in more detail when we return. Alrighty, so here's the sky for this week. We're going to look at this for each day of the week, starting first with Monday, January 3rd. And as you can see here, we are using the visible sky on this channel, and it is very different from mainstream astrology. The signs will change a lot. So for example, mainstream is saying that this new moon just happened in Capricorn, and that the Sun's in Capricorn at the moment. But if you do look up at the visible sky or use one of these apps, you will see the Sun right in the center of Sagittarius and this new moon just happening there. So if you are new to this form of astrology, definitely check out the link down below for more information on true sidereal astrology. All right, so yes, let's do a little bit of a recap. As you can see, again, it is a very quiet week astrologically, just some sextiles, that Venus conjunction though over the weekend, and so this will place a lot of emphasis on the lunar transits. But coming into the week, let's do a bit of a recap. We still have a lot of this Sagittarius energy. The Sun is here, the new moon was here, and Venus is retrograde here. So Sagittarius is all about expanding our horizons, either mentally or literally. And so fundamentally, it's a great time of expanding our perception of life and maybe more abstract things like spirituality or astrology. And a bit of adventurousness, not only of the mind, but sometimes quite literally could be good. So with especially the new moon that just took place last Sunday, the day before coming into this week, it is very good to set some intentions around this. Slowly build some momentum. It's still, again, early, lowest energy phase of the lunar month, but slowly building momentum to maybe cultivate more of that expansive and free-spirited and open-minded energy of Sag. And with Venus retrograde, again, just kind of allowing this time, I would say all the way into early February until Mercury goes direct. Mercury's about to go retrograde as well in a couple weeks. So, but with the Venus allowing, kind of a reflection on our values, maybe take a step back from what we're normally enjoying or normally doing in relationships, and maybe do it in a different way, or take a break with it, or rework it, rethink it. Retrogrades, we learn a lot, and it is a good time to look at things from a different lens and experiment. Try new things. And Venus ruling both our values and relationships, makes it good to approach them in that way. And then Mercury has recently started to get very close to Capricorn coming into this week. So our minds are entering into the more grounded state this week. So it could be very good for productivity, anything that requires patience, discipline, responsibility of the mind or of communication. Could be a very constructive time period for Mercury's transit of Capricorn. And Mars is getting closer to Ophiuchus, but really these are the same. This is the same part of the sky. You know, Scorpio and Ophiuchus share the 8th house, the 8th part of the sky. And so it's just, you know, adding to that deeper energy. I think a lot of the deeper stuff has already happened, again, from the previous lunar cycle with the eclipses and when the sun was here and everything. But Mars is, of course, still in this deeper part of the sky. So with Mars getting closer to Ophiuchus, I think any motivations and drives geared towards healing. Well, let's say excavating the truth fundamentally, and that's what's been good already, bring deep stuff to the surface, whether it's about ourselves or life or whatever it is. Mars is very much about being motivated to get to the truth. But as Mars does get closer to Ophiuchus, it is great to maybe do some healing stuff. Now, this can be, of course, physical healing, but, you know, psychological, spiritual, emotional as well. Any motivations and drives towards that is fantastic. We could say shadow work as well, right? So exposing the deep aspects of ourself, and really Ophiuchus is about embracing and accepting and redeeming these deeper qualities of ourself and life. So good to approach in this way, and you know, anything that is about bringing deep stuff to the surface is certainly available to use that directness, that drive, that getting to the bottom, getting to the truth. And now with Ophiuchus, accepting it, redeeming it as a part of life, as a part of ourself, which of course then leads to the healing and the transformation. So let's go ahead and start with Monday, day by day here for the week. We do have the moon finishing Sagittarius on Monday. So again, most of the emphasis will be on that new moon Sagittarius, new beginning of cultivating the free-spirited energies of life. Once we do get to the Tuesday time period and Wednesday as well, the moon will be in Capricorn, adding to the grounded aspects that Mercury is starting to implement. So again, productivity, achievement, accomplishment, anything we know will take time, patience, and perseverance is great to implement both Tuesday and Wednesday. And this is about the time that Mars does get closer to that Ophiuchus than Scorpio. And Venus will be sextiling up to Neptune on Wednesday. Nothing major at all. In fact, this is the second contact. We've already had this when Venus was direct. But sextiles are just openings, and we can choose or choose not to work with it. But it's a nice energy to work with if we do choose to do so. Neptune's all about more of the receptive sides of life. Rules Pisces, rules spirituality, rules compassion, rules doing things for our soul needs, right? Doing things that are important to us on a soul level. And of course, contacting Venus like this means this can come through in our enjoyments and also in relationships. So maybe enjoying some of that space, maybe some of that time out, maybe some of that spiritual energy. And in relationships, maybe it's just easier for more of that unconditional acceptance, receptivity there, right? And compassion and things like this. Again, all to be rethought, reworked, redone different ways during this Venus retrograde time period. Now, once we do get to the Thursday time, the moon will start to enter into Aquarius. Actually, we'll be full on in Aquarius by Thursday and the early part of Friday. So Aquarius, nothing major here for this week, but I would say these 2 days, Thursday and Friday, anything about our future visions could become accentuated. So what are our visions for our own future, our future aspirations? Good to cultivate those. But also collectively, you know, if there is anything that is for the world's future, or connecting with others towards a shared vision for the future, like our friends or groups or community stuff. Could be a great couple days to do that. Again, nothing major, but it's saying that in order to further develop this phase of the cycle, this lunar cycle, it is the time of Aquarius, the time of that vision, and the time of that perhaps contribution to that shared vision. And then once we do get to the late Friday time and for the whole rest of the weekend, the moon will be in watery Pisces. And this is where we do come up to the square between, or start to enter the square between the sun and moon in the first quarter phase of the cycle. Meaning that the sun is in a very different constellation, right? Fire, Sagittarius, free-spirited, than the moon, Pisces, water, emotions, deep feelings, spirituality. And so this is a great way to challenge ourselves as we start to come to our first challenges of the lunar cycle towards the weekend into next week. But it's, again, good to challenge ourselves. And in this sense, how can we incorporate these two very different energies? How can we focus on, again, that adventurousness of the mind, free-spiritedness, open-mindedness, right? And but also being willing to go with the flow, to check in with our intuition, to do what's important to us on a soul level, just like that Neptune. And in this way, it becomes very constructive. You can see how different they are, but really what they're similar is the modality, and their modality is mutable. And mutable is all about creating more flexibility in our life. So this is where they're similar. Sagittarius creates flexibility by being adventurous, right? When we're adventurous, we're open-minded, we're free spirit, we're very flexible, right? We're willing to listen to that spirit, that fire, and adapt. Same with Pisces. Pisces is about the flexibility of going with the flow, right? Being willing to be more accepting of things in the now moment, or how they are or are not, right? And listen to our intuition and kind of flow and adapt and change based on what our intuition is guiding us towards, or based on how we're feeling. So anything that is about creating more flexibility in our life in this way, both with fire and water, spirit and emotion and soul, I think is a great way of working with this weekend. And in this way, it becomes very constructive and really starts to enter into the more action-oriented phase of the cycle, where we could really be implementing and taking action towards those things that are shaping up for this new moon, new beginning. Now, over the weekend, this Venus retrograde will be passing over the sun, and this will be over Saturday and Sunday. So typically, this would be where, the sun is drowning out Venus. We can't see Venus in the sky, so it's important to bring extra mindfulness to Venusian things, more mindfulness to that relating, to tactfulness, to consideration of others' needs and what's fair and balanced, or just what's fair and balanced in general, and anything involving balanced values or enjoyments, let's say balanced enjoyments, right? So good to be mindful of that, but more than likely this will be the shift of awareness. It's the halfway point of the retrograde. And so usually with this will come not so much mental understanding, because it's the sun, but a sort of conscious or spiritual understanding of what's going on during this Venus retrograde. So maybe about what we value, again on a deeper level, more than likely being so close to Pluto, maybe in regards to what we enjoy in life, and in regards to relationships, more than likely, our current relationships, how we're relating, things like that. So good to listen, right? Good to be mindful and aware as the sun is kind of shining that conscious light about these things, but then it's also kind of coming through almost unconsciously or automatically, the relating and enjoyments. So we want to be mindful of that, just to make sure everything is nice and balanced with that. All right, but that is Venus very close to Earth, and so that's going to be a very strong energy of, maybe emphasizing these Venusian things, especially this week, because we have a lot of these Venus contacts going on, the sextile to Neptune and the conjunction with the Sun. So great week, all in all, for, again, connecting to the things we value in life, whether it's personal or interpersonal. All right, and then very minor, I just want to mention it, going into Monday, Mercury will be sextiling healing Chiron. So anything we want to learn about, study about, maybe healing, or doing things like writing or communication, that can be healing or therapeutic. It's an opening for this. And so just a good day going into Monday to do that. All right, everyone. So that is the week in a nutshell. Most important thing is a fresh new start to the lunar cycle, coming out of the previous more intense eclipse cycle of December. Fresh new start, new intentions. It's a Venusian week with Venus playing the main role this week. And so, again, retrograde, re-examining our values and our relations, doing it a different way, maybe some receptivity there with the Neptune, maybe some awareness coming in over the weekend. And yeah, and then challenging ourselves over the weekend to implement these new beginnings of this new lunar cycle. All right, so everyone have a fantastic week. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click the like button if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you're not yet signed up for MTZ Insiders, it is a newsletter, absolutely free, where you do get these videos released first and extra content not normally released on YouTube. So do sign up down below if you haven't yet. But have a great week, everyone. Thank you again for all of your support. And I'll see you all next week for the next astrology forecast. Take care.